Howdy, this video will cover solving inequalities by graphing. Okay, so basic rules are right here on this page. We have our greater than symbols, which you shade above the line. We have our less than symbols where you shade under the line. And then we have our non-equal to's, where they're going to be dashed lines. And then our equal to symbols, where you have solid lines. Okay. And then also, when dividing by a negative number, switch the sign. So if you divide, so you have negative 2y equals 4, right, is less than or equal to 4, you divide by negative 2, then that means you're going to have y is greater than or equal to negative 2. See how I switched those two signs? Okay? So whenever you divide by a negative number, you're going to switch your sign, switch your inequality. Okay. So here's our first example. We first need to solve for y because we need to graph it. So put it in slope-intercept form. So in order to do that, we need to add 8 to both sides. So then we'll get negative 2y is greater than negative x plus 8. And now we need to divide by negative 2 to get y by itself. And remember, when you divide by a negative number, your sign switches. So you'll have y is less than, so it's not greater than anymore, it's less than now. 1/2 x minus 4. So now your slope y-intercept shading line. So your slope will be 1/2. Your y-intercept will be negative 4. Your shade will be, it's less than, so it'll be below. And your line is going to be a dashed line because it's less than. It's not equal to. So now let's graph that. So we start with our y-intercept. So from the origin, go down 4 because it's negative 4. Then our slope is 1/2. So up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. Right 2, down. And then a dashed line because it's dashed. And then you shade below because that's what it is. Shade below. And that's it. We graphed it. And now we have our inequality. There we go. Next. Again, we need to solve for y. So add 8 to both sides. Have 3y is less than or equal to negative x plus 6. And then divide by 3. You'll get y is less than or equal to negative 1/3 x plus 2. So your slope is negative 1/3. Your y-intercept is positive 2. Your shade, it's less than or equal to, so it'll be below. And since it's equal to, you're going to have a solid line. So now graph that. Start with your y-intercept. From your origin, go up 2. And then since you have a negative slope, you're going to go down 1 and to the right 3. And it's going to be a solid line, so make it solid. And we shade below, so shade below. And that's it. There's your line. There's your inequality. Next, 2 equation example. So with this one, we're going to have a different answer. So let's go ahead and find the slope y-intercept shading line for both lines. So for the left line, what is your slope? It's going to be 1/1. Your y-intercept is negative 5. Your shade is greater than or equal to, so it'll be above. And then your line is equal to, so it's going to be a solid line. Now the right equation, what's your slope? Negative 1/1. Y-intercept of negative 3. Shade, it's less than, so it'll be below. And your line is a dash because it's not equals to. So now, let's graph the left line, and your y-intercept is negative 5. So from your origin, go down 5. Okay. Now, your slope is 1/1. So go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. And it's a solid line, so make it solid. It's an ugly solid line. Whatever, good enough. Okay, and then you shade above that line. So shade above. Okay, now you have to graph your right equation. So with your y-intercept at negative 3, go down 3. And you have a negative 1/1, so go down 1, right 1. And it's a dashed line, so make it dashed. And you shade below, so shade below. Okay, now your solution area for this will be the double shaded area. So this area where it's shaded twice is your solution area. The other shaded areas aren't the solution. Okay, so there is your solution area. Next one, tricky. Well, it's tricky because you'll find out. So let's go ahead and find the slope of the left line. So we have a 1/1 slope, y-intercept of +2, shade of above because it's greater than, and then a solid line because it's equals to. Now your right line, your slope is 1/1 again. Your y-intercept is -2. Your shade is below because it's less than, and it's a solid line because it's equal to. Now let's graph the left line. We have a y-intercept of +2, so from your origin go up 2. And then your slope is 1/1, so go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. Down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. Okay, and then we have, it's a solid line, so make it solid. And you shade above, so shade above. Now, no. Okay, now the right line. So your y-intercept of that line is -2, so go down 2. Your slope is 1/1, so go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. Okay, and it's solid again, so make it solid. Okay, and then you shade below, so shade below. All right, there we go. Now, like I said before, the solution area is the double shaded area. Now, since there is not a double shaded area because they're parallel lines and they're shaded opposite directions, that means there is no solution. Tricky. Not really, but yeah. Next, last one. Working backwards. Oh, hell. Okay, so let's go ahead and label these lines. Let's say line 1 is the dashed one. Line 2 is the solid one. So let's go ahead and work backwards. So for your line, it's going to be a dashed line. So put dashed. Your shade, it's shaded above. So put above. Your y-intercept of this line is at -1. And your slope is up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. So it's going to be 1/1. So let's make that equation. And what do all equations start with? They start with y. So put a y. And now let's find our inequality. Since it's a dashed line, it's not going to be equals to, and it's shaded above, so it's going to be greater than. So you're going to have y is greater than. Your slope is 1/1, so it'll just be x. And then -1 for your y-intercept. And that's your equation. Now for line 2, let's start with your line, which is solid, so put a solid line. It's shaded below. And your y-intercept is looks like it's right there, so it's going to be +2. And your slope goes down 2 and right 1, so it's going to be -2/1. All right, so now your equation starts with y, and we have a solid line, so it will be equals to, it's below, so it'll be less than. So y is less than or equal to, your slope is -2/1, so y is less than or equal to -2x, and then your y-intercept is +2, so +2. And those are 2 equations. And that's all she wrote, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to do your worksheets and homework and whatnot, and thanks for watching. Okay, bye.